Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do an unboxing for the Rapala Bass Boom box. I was walking around in the store and I saw it and I thought, well shoot, give this a try and see what's in it. They do already tell you a little bit what the brands of the baits are in there, but they don't tell you what the baits are. And I picked this up at Scheels, my local Scheels, for 30 bucks, and it says on here you got over $60 value in here. About seven select items plus one bonus item, so that's pretty cool. And I haven't picked up a Rapala bass box like this before. It's actually the Bass Boom box. They have a walleye one too. I'm sure it's pretty good. Well, I don't know. I don't know what these are like. So, but yeah, I'm going to do an unboxing with this one today, and we're going to see what's in there, and I'm going to kind of rate it a little bit to see what I think of the box, and you know, if I think it would be great. Obviously, right now my lakes are iced over, so I can't really use any of this stuff yet. But in the summer, yeah, be good to go. So let's just get right into this unboxing here. There's another box I want to do too. It's the Jacob Wheeler version too. That looks pretty sweet as well. But before we get into this, actually, so I'm gonna interrupt myself. But before we get into this, go check out some apparel, some Aero Outdoors apparel. Got a website, a store link to my YouTube channel here, and go to www.aerooutdoorsapparel.com and pick up your own apparel for your next outdoor adventure. But this hat, guys, this hat is pretty awesome. I've had this thing for a long time now. I've sweat in it so many times, and a lot of times when you sweat in a hat, you get these rings right here, and it kind of fades, and it just looks terrible. But I can't notice anything. Maybe like no, actually I can't even notice anything. If you take a look at it up close, I can't notice any rings on it at all. So I mean, and I've sweat in this, you know, a lot of times, and on the inside here too. Kind of hard to tell with the lighting, sorry, but yeah, it's holding together pretty good. You can see a little bit of the line right here. Actually, you can see a little bit of the line, so you can see that there's a little bit of line there, but you can't see it on this other side. So this hat's been holding together for me really well, and this is probably one of my best hats I've had in a very long time. So okay, there's the plug for my apparel. But okay, now back to the unboxing. The first thing I'm going to grab out of here is right out of the top is the VMC Tokyo Rig. I haven't really had a chance to really focus on this rig, but it's I definitely see the point of it, and it has a really good place. I don't use it that often. There are some spots where I probably should, and I'd get more bites, because what it does is you put a weight here in the bottom, you curl the bottom wire here, and then it keeps that hook up off the bottom. So if you've got a mucky bottom, you know, your bait, you know, pegs down in the bottom, well, it kind of gets buried a little bit. Sometimes the fish loses sight, they just swim right over it. Maybe sometimes, but in this way, if when it hits the bottom, your bait is up. And if you got a little bit of weed cover on the bottom of your lake, this will help keep your bait up above and give you a better chance to put your bait in front of that fish and get that fish to bite. So that's pretty cool. It's a 3/0 hook, so you know, beaver style baits can be pretty awesome for this rig. It's gonna work out very well, and well, that's what I would throw on it right away. But you can throw just about anything. You can throw worms. You know, you can even throw like a smaller stick bait if you wanted to as well, like a 4-inch stick bait. I know this is a 3/0 hook. And a 4-inch stick bait is kind of small for a 3/0 hook, but hey, I've done it, it works. So sometimes they need a smaller presentation depending on the lakes you're at. Tokyo rigs, I don't use them enough, but I have some on the boat, and I've had some success with those. Pretty good baits there. Okay, next one, the Neon Moon Eye jigs. So I've had these jigs, I've been using these jigs for years, a long time. I bought a lot. I have a lot of these. Actually, I have a whole box of these in the boat because I had them for walleye, and so I always keep them in the boat because I can reuse. Sorry, I use them for walleye. I use them for everything. And these jigs are very versatile. So I know this is a bass box, but you can still use them for walleye. And these, what I would use these for bass would be like your kind of like you know, like your jig and minnow baits. So that's what I would use these for. This is probably, it's a 1/4 ounce. That's about right. Yeah, 1/4 ounce. Be pretty good for your jig and minnow baits. Some guys will go down to about an 1/8 ounce. But I've had really good luck with these jigs. Caught a lot of fish with these jigs. So that's a really good solid bait. I do like that. Well, looks like I'm just grabbing a bunch of VMC stuff, but that's all right. Okay, so the next one here is the Tungsten Rugby weights, the 3/8 ounce Rugby weight. So it's like a football head weight, you know, that you would put on your line. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've never thrown these before. So I'll have to take a look at and make sure I get them rigged up properly. But what it kind of looks like is that you would rig them just kind of like you would a your Texas rig style bait, but you drag it, you know, you go through the rocks and stuff and a football head and kind of bounce it up and off with the rocks and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of information for you guys on this one, but we'll have to give it a try and just test it out and have some fun with it. But that's kind of the thing that I'm getting from it is that, and it's tungsten, 3/8 ounce tungsten, so it's a smaller weight. And once if the fish gets that all the way in its mouth, it's not going to pop that fish's mouth open too much. Because sometimes when you have a big weight in a fish's mouth, and you set the hook, you're pulling that weight out of their mouth, and you're forcing the mouth open. And sometimes if that happens too much, if the weight is too big, you could just pull that hook straight out too and not even get it into the fish's mouth. So that's kind of what my experience has been on a couple times with bigger weights. So tungsten actually, you know, not eliminates it, but helps prevent that a little bit, because you can do just as heavy of a weight, but smaller. It's a smaller size. That's actually the reason why I like tungsten. That, plus when you hit the bottom, you get more of a return feel. So like if you're dragging it on the bottom and it's mud, and all of a sudden you get into a little bit of gravel, you can feel it, and the sensitivity just comes right back to your rod, and you can feel it. It's pretty good. That's the other main reason why I really like the tungsten weights and stuff. So pretty good. Looks pretty good. I don't have any experience with it, but I think I'm just gonna give it a shot this summer, see how it'll work. Okay, next one, we got the Storm Wildeye Swim Shad. This is the 4-inch 7/16 ounce. So there's a Storm there, Storm Wildeye Swim Shad there. I mean, there's swim bait. It's a pre-rigged swim bait, and it's got the VMC hooks. Look pretty stout, so you can probably throw it in and out of cover a little bit, and you know, it's gonna hold up. And this color, what is the color? It's just pearl. I do like this color. I wasn't always a big color. I wasn't always a big believer in like white or pearl or anything, because up in my area we don't really have shad. So to me, it really wasn't like the color to throw out. We got bluegill and perch, so those were my main colors that I would throw. I did start throwing bigger swim baits that were white, however, and white or bone color, or you know, pearl like this too. And man, they just get hammered, and I just don't know why. I mean, I'm not matching the hatch. So and I do know that sometimes you don't really have to match the hatch. It's a triggering thing sometimes, and then other times they just want to eat. But there are sometimes where, you know, they're going to be pretty sketchy and they really want, you know, they're picky. So then those times you're going to want to match the hatch. But I got a feeling that these things are going to work out really well. I'll probably give them a shot this spring here. And the thing is, so they're 7/16, so they're a little bit heavier. I do like to fish a little bit shallower. So where I would probably throw these is I'd probably throw them down a deeper weed line, because they're going to get down a little bit better. And my first thought is, you know, I would sit outside of the weed line and cast up into it. You can cast parallel. That works great too. I mean, that works really good because then the ambush are coming out of the weed line. But what I like to do is I like to pull it and drag it through the weed lines. And near the top, come down. I don't like to drag it on the bottom, but I like to pull it through about midway up or near the top, and then come out of that weed line. And sometimes it just kind of pops out, and I get some really big and ferocious strikes sometimes doing that. So that's probably where I'll throw this bait. But Storm's got some a pretty good lineup of baits. I do like their stuff. Okay, next bait. Something I already have not in this color, but I do already have some of these in the boat, and they do work out pretty well. I haven't used them as much as I should, but it's the Rapala OG series. That's the Tiny 4. This is the Live River Shad color, and these baits are a very finesse bait, so you're probably going to throw these on. I've tried throwing them on a bait caster, and you can. It's got to be a really light setup. Now I've got a rod setup that I'm going to be doing, a rod setup video that I'm going to be doing here soon. It is a BFS setup, so this would be great for that setup. Or and typically what I've done in the past too is a spinning rod. You know, a spinning rod with like 10 pound braided line to probably an 8 to 10 pound. Wouldn't go any more than that fluorocarbon leader. But these things work really well when the bite is really tough. When the fish have seen a lot of baits, these seem to get bites when, you know, the fish are in a bad mood, let's just say. a mood where they don't want to bite, or, you know, where they're very highly pressured. That's when I'll take these baits out. But this is a really good series by Rapala and Octafo. This is, you know, Ott's Garage, but these baits, I love these baits. So that's pretty good. We got some of those, and I just saw this now too, so same thing. We got another one here, same thing. I got some of these in the boat. Also by Rapala. This is another OG series. It's the OG Slim 6. So this will dive the Tiny 4, about 4 foot depth. Slim 6, it'll dive about 6 feet. And the same thing, it's a little bit more of a finesse. It's a finesse crankbait. And, you know, this has got the color that this has. What is it called? It's just called Crawdad. This is actually something that I'm going to throw in the spring. This is that color, and it gets crushed. It gets crushed big time. I've thrown it in the spring. There's another color that I also throw in the spring. It's kind of like there's really 3 colors that I throw. 2 I'll throw all year long, but this color I will throw, you know, primarily in the spring, unless I know they are eating up on crawfish, you know, throughout, you know, they got a lot of crawfish in their lake and they're eating a lot of them, then I will still throw this one. But this one, you know, I've used it before, and what I do like about these, so I'm a fan of bigger hooks. Put as big a hook on it as you can without losing the action. These have that, so these have some big hooks on there. You know, there's probably the biggest you can put on there before it starts ruining the action of the bait, and I really like that, because for me, my experience, a bigger hook helps me bring the fish into the boat. It helps, you know, my hookup ratio goes way up with bigger hooks. So I mean, and it's not always the same. So like say with smallmouth, sometimes smaller hooks a little bit better. So it's different between different species, but smallmouth have a smaller mouth, so less, you know, they got a smaller mouth. It's hard to get those bigger hooks in their mouth. So that's the whole difference there. But speaking of smallmouth, they still do eat these baits here too. So I mean, it's obviously a bass bait. Well, walleye will eat these as well too. So I shouldn't say just bass bait. But yeah, this is another really good bait from the box there. Love that a lot. I'm gonna do that one last. And then of course we have the one that I'm sure everybody's heard of. It's very, very, very popular bait lately, and it's the Rapala Crush City Mayor. Pretty sweet bait. This is green pumpkin, and this is going to get bit pretty much anywhere you go. It's a 4-inch swim bait. I'll typically rig this one on a jig head, not like more like a swim jig, but it's a non-skirted and not a weedless one either, so it won't have like the hook protection on it, the hook guard. So it'll be an open hook, and I don't have one sitting out, but no, I thought I did. I don't have one sitting out, but this will also work really great on a swim jig too, so don't get me wrong. But my first thought of this is either going to be a belly weighted underspin hook, or a belly weighted hook, so you can throw weedless, so that way you can throw in and out of weeds, and then of course the single jig. And a lot of times I am going to throw this in and out of weed cover. That's where that's where I love to fish, and that's where I get a lot of my strikes and a lot of my success from. So this is a really good bait. I haven't used these before, so I mean I can't personally say that I've had success with these, but I mean this is no secret. You know, you watched anything in the bass fishing world, you've seen you know, Jacob Wheeler, Dustin Connell, and you know all those guys, you know, using these baits and having a ton of success and making, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars off of them. So I mean, there's nothing bad to say about these baits. Next thing out of the box, so this might be, let's see, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know if this is like the extra item or not, but no, actually I don't think, no, this isn't the extra item. I'm not sure which one was the extra item. It might have been those Rugby weights, because they're the only ones that, I don't know. Anyways, so what do we got next here is, now I haven't used this before. Well, it's, okay, so we got the Suffix ProMix monofilament. It's a 10-pound line, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't really use a whole lot of monofilament that's rated 10 pounds, other than my popper, throwing it on my popper setup. But because monofilament floats, and that's where I want that. And speaking of which, in that video, I kept saying fluorocarbon throughout the whole video, and it wasn't fluorocarbon. It's monofilament. So I do use monofilament for when I'm wanting to have my line float at the top, and you know, so it's as a leader line for like my top water lures. So I'll use this for like my walking style baits, or my my popper style baits. So this is pretty good here. I've never used the Suffix ProMix, so I can't tell you that I've had success with it or anything like that. But I've had a lot of good success with Suffix line. I mean, I've used the Suffix braid for years, and the Suffix advanced fluorocarbon, I've used that also for years. I haven't had any. I don't have anything negative to say about Suffix line. I've had a lot of success with it, so I can only imagine that this is going to be, you know, just as good. So there's that, and there's that box. So hey, not a bad box. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in there. I mean, there really is a lot of good stuff in there. A lot of good stuff to get you around. I mean, I personally would have liked to seen like a jig, but I mean, we got some other, we got some Moon Eye jigs, and you know, we got the Tokyo Rig that we could throw that swim bait on and stuff. But personally, I mean, yeah, I would like to see a jig, but maybe that's a different box. So they probably got different versions for these boxes, which is cool. You know, you want different versions. You don't want them all to be the same, because otherwise you're getting the same stuff. It's kind of boring. But yeah, that's a good, I don't know. I thought it was a pretty decent box. Anyways, yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, looks like a pretty good box, the Rapala Bass Boom box. And yeah, I don't know. We'll try some of that stuff out this summer. But guys, you know, thanks again. I really appreciate you all for watching. Don't forget to check out some Air Outdoors apparel. I've got it linked to my YouTube channel. The store is linked to the YouTube channel, so check that out. And if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next video.